How do you operationalize your values? That was a question I was recently asked, and I wanted to provide an answer on this Friday Focus on Leadership. So let me give you an answer by giving an example of actually the organization I used to lead. One of the things we did was we had a food pantry, and we also had mobile food pantries where we would bring food right to an apartment complex or a group of homes where people lived that normally would come to our food pantry. We would actually bring food to where they lived. Now, here's was one of the issues was for some, there was a bit of an embarrassment or a bit of a stigma of they didn't want to stand out amongst their neighbors because this is where they live, that they may need food. And so I give all the credit to my program team who really started thinking about this and saying, how can we remove the stigma, remove the embarrassment, but these folks need the food. So how do we accomplish that? What our program team came up with was turning that mobile food pantry into really a festival, a carnival atmosphere. There was food, there was games, we had little goals and played soccer. And then we brought community partners. So we had People's Health Clinic providing health screens. We had another nonprofit that gave vision screens. We had other organizations there so that it was this big event. It wasn't just about providing food for the people that were there. It was about this event that your kids could come to and you could come to, and people hung out, they would talk. And it was this really fun atmosphere. The reason I share that is because our value was showing dignity and respect for everybody we served. And we operationalized that by our behavior, by actually creating an event where we wanted to make sure they felt respected and had dignity while they received food. That's how you move values that are just on the wall or just on your website into actual behavior in terms of how you serve people, how you do your programs, how you treat each other. That's just one example of how you can operationalize your values. So how about you? How do you operationalize your values in your organization? I think it's one of the most important things you can do as a leader is to figure out how to do that practically. Brene Brown, the famous author, has talked about this extensively. She's done a lot of research. She has realized that the majority of organizations, and this is businesses, nonprofits alike, they have not operationalized their values. They just talk about their values, but there's not actual behavior patterns or measurable ways to show that you're actually living out your values. And that to me is what leadership is all about, living out your values. Thanks again for tuning in for Friday Focus on Leadership. We'll see you next week.